Adam Davis from Motion Performance Fitness. Today is part one of our raw foods video blog series. The reason why I'm doing this is I recently got some feedback about a situation of one of my clients. Long story short, he battled rheumatoid arthritis for 7 years, taking drugs, really debilitating disease to where he felt like his whole body was on fire, his joints were on fire, very, very destructive, couldn't sleep at night, couldn't play golf, couldn't play with his kids. And I met him a few years ago, him and his wife, and I've been studying raw foods and how cellular regeneration actually helps problems, if not cure half the problems out there. Well, it's very interesting that, wouldn't you know, after following a certain protocol, my client is actually symptom-free. So I did get feedback on the internet and on Facebook of some people that were saying, that doesn't work and this and that, and people really wanting to know about it. So that's why I'm doing this video series. This series can be up to about 7 to 10 different videos depending on how detailed I get. My goal is to educate, to really understand what's out there and some of the techniques that we're not understanding and we don't really get, because it's all about chemistry of the reason why we get diseases and natural chemistry of why we don't. People think diseases is like something we get out of the air, like, oh, this person got cancer. But if you look at the science and you look at the actual chemistry of what happens, and the chemistry of the studying you could do could be a 4-year degree. This raw foods and this cellular regeneration is extremely, extremely extensive research. And the thing that's weird about it is people are so quick to form an opinion when they're uneducated or simply ignorant to the subject. So you go up to someone and say, oh, so-and-so cured their rheumatoid arthritis with nothing but fruit and herbs. You instantly get scared because you don't know anything about it. You go, oh, that's full of crap, you're nuts. Yet, you don't really understand the research, so it's very impossible for you to say whether that's true or not. It's almost as if someone comes up to you and says, I just filled my gas tank up with apple juice. You'll go, God, this guy's freaking nuts. But then all of a sudden you're in another store and someone tells you the same thing. Then someone tells you it again. Then someone tells you again. After a few thousand people say it, you might seem to go, I'm going to go out to my tank and see if apple juice works in my tank. It's one of those deals where we're engraved in our minds of what is right. Do this after a workout. Do that. Do this. Do that. It's like habits we don't like to break. So we assume somebody gets cancer, you have to do chemo or start praying because life's over. Yet, there's so much research out there that shows raw food and cellular regeneration is very effective in treating the symptoms, if not curing the disease completely. And if you literally get on the internet and really research this stuff, you'll see mind-blowing success stories of what's real and what can really be possible. Now, the difference here is I want to touch base each post on different aspects of why it is and try to educate you as much as I can on the raw foods. And the first thing comes with Dr. Robert Morse, which is M-O-R-S-E, is a big naturopathic doctor from Port Charlotte, Florida, believe it or not. And his website is www.godsherbs.com. And that's Gods with an S, godsherbs.com. He's done the research for years, over 30 years of clinical research studying in Portugal and in Chinese medicine all over the world. And they've done the research and it's effective. He's got books out. He's cured diseases out the wazoo. He's got an 80% cure rate. He's cured breast cancer in less than 2 months, bone cancer, regenerative paraplegics. He's treated Shania Twain's mother, cured her cancer, has worked with Lance Armstrong and his situation. So the guy is well known throughout the entire world with curing these diseases. He's been on CNN and multiple national news programs about these things. So the key is understanding the science, and that's basically what I want to touch base on today to give you an idea. So looking at our chart, the very first and foremost thing is what's called cellular regeneration. And this is what true health is all about. It doesn't matter if you drop the carbs, drop the protein, increase the fat, decrease the fat, go on nothing but protein, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter unless the cells are getting exactly what they need to function. It's all about the cells, and I don't know where in time we lost that concept. Cells make up our bodies. It's as simple as that. And the key with that is providing the cells with the right information and the right nutrition to get the body to function properly. When you eat raw foods, like plants and fruits, they have cells in them, living organisms, living cells that have vibrancy. So when you eat that and you digest it, our cells uptake that energy and we put that energy out. So we see us going, man, I got tons of energy, I can work, I can play, I'm not getting tired at work. That's because you gave yourself life. You gave yourself cellular regeneration from living things. Once you really cook things or degrade it by processing it down from its original form, now your cells uptake that syntheticness or that toxicity, and it changes the cellular chemistry of our body. That is the science behind disease. And diseases, you'll even hear a doctor I study out of New Jersey, Dr. Joel Fuhrman. He's a big pioneer in curing diseases and heart disease and things with nothing but food, no drugs, no nothing. He even claims in his books, statement from a doctor, you earn your disease through nutritional ignorance. And that's basically what it boils down to. We have no clue with the chemicals and the toxicity of how we're bringing the outside world into our cells. That is what's giving us disease. We're not unlucky. Oh my God, genetics gave me a cancer. No, we gave it to ourselves through the habits and how we brought that outside world into our cells. So it's cellular regeneration should be the goal. When someone walks in me and says, I want to lose weight, what they really mean is they want to cellular regenerate their body so they can lose the weight and get their body functioning better. Just focusing on weight loss does nothing for the problem. Anyone can go on a doctor's weight loss program where you eat 500 calories, take phenmetrazine, which is a toxin in itself. All of a sudden you lose 100 pounds and you look like a skull and you walk around with no energy. I don't think that's very healthy. And the reason why is you never regenerated your cells. You never provided the nutrients you need to get your body to regenerate itself. And the key points are 4 major things to raw foods and being disease-free. And the first is ingestion. Duh, right? We got to eat food and break down the cell membranes in this raw food so we can uptake it and absorb it and utilize it in our bodies. You'll be surprised that the #1 problem in America is probably absorption and utilization of what we eat. And it's because we've backed up our system. We've clogged our colon and made our small intestine so back up that it can't absorb what we need, and basically we become demineralized from all the problems and all the crazy toxic food that we eat. So if we ingest and we absorb and we utilize, naturally we're going to go to the most important one. We're going to eliminate right. And this is the #1 key to health overall when you're talking any disease whatsoever is colon health, elimination. And not to be graphic, but if you don't have 2 to 3 bowel movements per day, you're already backed up. You're already setting the disease process and you don't even know. Elimination comes in 4 forms mainly, but 3 of the major ones are bowels, kidneys, skin, believe it or not, and lungs, which expels carbon dioxide and other toxins. So the key is you have to have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day, and you got to be filtering your kidneys properly in order to eliminate the toxins. If you keep putting toxic foods and acidic foods, which we'll talk about in the next post, but if you keep putting toxicity in the body, in time, we will clog the eliminative organs of our body, which is the bowels, the kidneys, and the most important, the skin. Once we clog our bodies, the body will get backed up. Cells will clump together. Nutrients will not be delivered. Viruses will form. Bacteria will form. And not eliminating it. And it's like this. What you don't eliminate, you accumulate. And that's what sets the disease process. And in the story of my client who had rheumatoid arthritis, he just simply got his eliminatory organs to function better through herbs and a specific nutritional protocol. Now he's absorbing and utilizing right, eliminating right, and now he's what's called alkalizing his cells. Taking that acid and inflammation out of his cells, putting the right stuff in his cells, and now his body works perfectly, and he has no problems. He's playing golf. He doesn't have any, he doesn't feel like he's on fire anymore. It's a very simple process that boils down to the chemistry of the body. It's all basic chemistry. You don't need half of these drugs and all this stuff because we don't know anything about it. We just put people on drugs and say, oh, I hope you get better. Yet we continue to eat and continue to not eliminate, continue to not utilize and absorb and not ingest right. Therefore, instead of cellular regeneration, you get cellular destruction. And that's what leads to disease. In the next post, we're going to talk about energy levels and what inflammatory foods really are, and acid and alkaline, and what that really entitles to the disease process. So this is Adam Davis at Motion Performance Fitness. We're putting motion back into life.